I have been in love with art museums since I was a little girl. It was as if worlds were opened to me.
The Colorado State University community is very excited about the opening of the University Art Museum. In many ways, the opening of this museum builds upon the opening of the University Center for the Arts, which created such important opportunities for the performing arts. The Art Museum will provide similar very high-quality space for the visual arts and really allow us to display not only our own collection, but a very high-quality series of exhibitions that will come through the museum. These shows and exhibitions are designed to broaden people's experiences and to enrich their lives. In many ways, the same reasons that the university so rigorously pursues international activities for our faculty and for our students. We're very proud of the Art Museum. We hope you enjoy it as well.
I think the prime thing is going to be that we're going to be able to put on permanent display those pieces from our collection of Japanese prints, African art. The students are going to be able to access that at virtually any time during the day. That's so critical. We've never had the ability to do that within the department.
And it gives us opportunities in terms of the kinds of programs that we can do here that we were never able to do before.
Having the University Art Museum across college in the University Center for the Arts, I think will open up lots of people who might not otherwise have come if we had decided to put it on the main campus.
We're going to be able to bring, I can see especially in the K-12, in art education, to bring these students on in and expose them to things that they have never seen before.
Also, it's wonderful being at the University Center for the Arts because it will allow patrons of the performing arts, those people who come to music, theater, or dance performances, to also come to the Art Museum.
And we're one of the few places in the world to have all of this combined together into one location. So you don't have to go to theater here and then to the art here, and it's all in one location, under one roof.
You're going to see that art has a very large presence in this building, that we are not just a separate department on the other side of campus, that we are very, very intimate with this museum, and we're very, very intimate with the other members of the performing arts, the music, dance, and theater.
The University Art Museum is dedicated to both showing the best contemporary art that is happening today and to showing historical work, art historical works.
I think the best contemporary art really starts a dialogue about art and gets people who, even if they don't like a work of art, they're still, maybe even if they're passionate about that dislike of the work of art, and it gets them interested and really starts that dialogue about what art is and what it can do.
Contemporary art isn't easy. It's a language that we need to learn to interpret. Part of our job at the University Art Museum is to interpret works of art and make those works of art accessible to our viewers.
The collection has a primary non-Western focus, certainly important, I think, to Fort Collins, to Colorado State University, and to our students.
A very large part of the Colorado State University strategic plan is internationalization. Of course, that's something that Colorado State has done for a very long time, but the particular focus of the University Art Museum, being both historical and non-Western, will add to that internationalization that's so important to Colorado State.
The international collections that we have here are extremely unique for the area. We have a very strong collection of African art, over 600 objects, and a collection that continues to grow.
All this makes me really, really excited because in my lifetime I've never had the opportunity to look at objects from another continent before, and I've only seen these objects in books, I've seen these objects online, but I've never actually gotten a chance to hold them, to look at them up close.
It's amazing for students. They're able to work with an object, with objects, and be responsible for those objects and learn museum skills. It is not just a learning tool, it's helping them to understand objects within a full cultural context.
It was unlike other classes that I've taken where we just get to look at slides and stuff. We actually got to handle the actual artworks. And we got to learn how to specifically touch them and wear gloves for museum work, and we'll be given the opportunity to have our research put into the museum later on. So that was a really great opportunity.
I was really grateful to know that it wasn't going to be a regular art history class. You weren't just learning from images, you were actually learning from the objects. So we got to pick up the objects and look at them firsthand.
One of the things the museum allows us to do is to broaden the scope of art education by allowing our students to study museum education. And so by using the collection, developing lessons that can actually take place in the museum, our students will be able to expand the curriculum and will be able to, I think, present a more well-rounded program.
The University Art Museum permanent collection was formed in great part through the generous donations of alumni, faculty, and friends of the university who have had their own interest in international relationships.
Obviously, there's a lot of art in the world. From my point of view, at least, the more you can see, the more you'll learn about it. And this collection is pretty broad and shows a lot of different kinds of art, and hopefully that will be interesting to your students as well.
During my time of studying at CSU, I was able to take a collections class with Pat Cornell, where the entire collection was donated by the Addisons. And it gave me hands-on experience working and researching Inuit art, and it was just such a wonderful experience going about my way of researching it on my own, as well as having Pat's support in the process too.
A great example is what happened when we donated a lot of the Native American, ethnic, New Zealand, so on. And the students researched that and produced papers and then put on a show, and I thought that was really super. That's probably the ne plus ultra of my expectations as far as being used by students.
What this museum has is the infrastructure that makes it a museum standard facility.
With the climate control and everything along those lines, it really, gives the department an ability to show, I'd say, a wider variety of work and be able to really maintain what's on site here.
The facilities, in other words, are going to give us the opportunity to not only be great caretakers of our own collection, but to be able to borrow works from the best museums in the country.
We're going to have a wonderful time here, and when people come, I think they'll be greatly amazed at what all they'll find.
Any institution that values the arts needs to have an art museum. It speaks to the quality of the institution and the importance of the arts, not only again for arts students and faculty, but for the entire university community.
Fort Collins and the CSU community deserve this. They deserve an art museum that can bring them excellence in the arts and then can take the visual arts to a different level.
The art scene in Fort Collins has grown, and I think with the addition of a collecting museum, it's really adding to that. I mean, not only are you supporting local artists, but you're able to bring through other exhibits to really further the public's knowledge of art.
We really ended up with a small jewel. It's a beautiful museum.
Combining with the performing and the visual together is unbelievable. And I never thought I'd see it in my lifetime.